quite an impressive comeback if GGPR is able to pull this off, but you just don't know. Triumph could strike back at any moment, and they do. Rizu leading things outside for Triumph all the way towards Hell. Him and Hate each with an AK headshot fatality there. Exceed. Whoa! Almost had to double take there as Sia was walking past him, but Lowrider coming up huge there as well from Hell. Lowrider's 2K headshot there from Hell to outside. That might have been the game changer there. Allowed just enough distraction for his teammates to get the final 2 kills. Exceed getting the final kill of the round there as he rotates into lobby. And we'll be going into the second half of OT here in a moment with GGPR up by 3 rounds.
Counter-terrorists win. Counter-terrorists win.
And we are officially underway for the second half of overtime. GGPR leading by 3. Triumph looking to come out the gate strong here defensively. Let's see what they can do. Hate holding things down there. Great initial play by Hate. Finds 3 after getting 2 headshots from top of hut. Looking for a 4th. JT finally able to trade on Hate there, but that'll be a quick round going the way of Triumph. Huge play from Hate there to keep Triumph in the mix. GGPR gonna have to be extremely careful on any of these squeaky door peaks, as shown there. He's starting to make his way towards ramp here with Shaniak. Looks like they're gonna wait out this Molotov, but George gonna toss a smoke back. CX with a keen eye there down ramp hall. GGPR on the head stack. Can they convert? CX taking a spam shot. Not sure if he made any visual contact there, but Lowrider spamming back through the smoke grenade towards ramp. Tags CX all the way down to 12 HP. That's going to force CX to rotate back towards hell, potentially outside. Exceed, by the way, already making his way down into secret halls, but he's got Rizu right around the corner here. Exceed tries to make the crouch peek, but Rizu with a nice reaction headshot there with the M4. GGPR now regrouping at outside. Unknown if they'll go secret or mini here, but CX ruining the party so far. GGPR trying to make their way down secret. Lowrider getting tagged by CX's op and downed. Rizu quick switching right when GGPR started advancing towards him. Gets his gun back out and takes out Beaky, but JT able to get the trade on him. George there ultimately for the trade onto JT though, and that's going to leave only Shaniak left with the AWP. Only 10 seconds remaining as well. Really nothing Shaniak could do there. Finds the kill onto George, but just too many enemies to deal with after that. And Triumph now back to within a single round here late in OT. Can GGPR finish off this win, or is Triumph taking this to double OT? CX choosing to hold down outside this round instead of ramp, and Shaniak trying to make the peek onto default Silo, but Hate on top of Silo, able to see just enough of him to complete the pick there. Hate's still gonna hold his angle on top of Silo. B-Will's on top of Hut. Some nice defensive positioning from Triumph here. This is gonna be hard for GGPR to crack offensively with them set up like that. CX still keeping an eye on outside. Beaky with a nice peek at Squeaky though takes out B-Wills. CX does convert that peek outside to a kill on JT, but Exceed right there for the trade. Brings it to a 3-on-3. Less than 30 seconds on the clock here. GGPR gonna have to commit. GGPR making their way towards the A side, but Rizu right there by Silo. A pair of trades coming out, and it's only Exceed left. 1v1 situation, 11 seconds on the clock. Goes for the fake plant. Peeks heaven, has the information he needs now. Gonna fall back for the plant, gets it down just in time. Here's those footsteps above him. George rotating around rafters here, and Exceed makes the peek, but not able to complete the kill. Tags George down to 22 HP, but El Jorge coming out on top of that 1v1. We're now tied up at 18. And we'll be headed to a second OT here in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Word of my niggas from the 021. You count 6 shots and I count 2 guns. Some people still think I rap just for fun, but soon they look up to me just like the sun. Yeah, you can come over here. Swear it's like no career. Swear you got no idea. Soon you'll have no career. Take a good look in the mirror. They need to know that I'm here. Don't you act like it ain't clear. Yeah. Push start, ayy. Ball so hard, ayy. Raise the bar, ayy. Turn into a star, ayy. Play my keep it large, okay. Live it up. This is fake, better give it up. Young, but I feel like I've seen enough. Numbers going up, better keep it up. Ain't slowing down, better live it up. About too hard, ayy. What? About too hard, ayy. What? About too hard, ayy. About too hard.
We are officially live for the second overtime here on Nuke. Still map 1. Still could go either way. Both teams showing a lot of strength on the T side here. Let's see if GGPR can keep that narrative going. Or if Triumph has potentially found their groove to maybe finish this one out. Still can't tell. Triumph coming off some impressive defensive rounds there, but offensive rounds, excuse me. Will that translate here on the CT side against CX, narrowly missing that initial pick outside? GGPR letting a lot of time off the clock here. Looking for a late B take. Already made their way down through Secret. They've still got Lowrider floating up by Vent, ready to flank down. Utility being traded at the B side. JT making his way towards Silo. Finds a headshot onto George. Whips out the bomb, but gets traded. And Shawniak and Lowrider getting an offensive pick at B as well. But CX aiming down with that AWP from ramp. There's nearly no time to plant now. Bomb will get planted in CX with only 21 HP remaining. Walks out into Shawniak's crosshairs from Yellow Door there. And GGPR back in the lead by a single round. But these teams seem to be so evenly matched. It's just hard to tell which way the momentum's going to swing here in overtime. Just constant back and forth here since the end of regulation. Exceed draws first blood onto CX there at Outer. That's a big pick for GGPR. Beaky doing his part there at the A site. 3 members of GGPR potentially moving towards A from lobby. I'm not fully committing yet. With a nice peek into lobby. B-Wills as well, but a couple trades coming out there from GGPR and lobby, and that's going to leave only George remaining here for the CT side. He does have an AUG and full HP. George going to hear those footsteps, will convert that information into getting the bomb down in Mini. Now he's got to deal with Shawniak and Exceed. Still a bit of time for GGPR to work with here. 40 seconds on the clock. Bomb planted at the A site. George wrapping through ramp towards Heaven. Exceed watching ladder, should be able to get this, and he does. Exceed showing his patience and experience there, converts the headshot at ladder, and that'll be a 2-round lead now for GGPR. Late, or I should say early in the who knows if this is late or early in the second overtime. This could go to a third for all we know. GGPR looking to to increase the lead to 3 here. Triumph with a chance to slice the lead back to 1. Lowrider holding down things from control room. Does find the headshot onto Rizu, but gets tagged down to 1 HP in the process. George rotating out of vents. Nice headshot there onto Exceed with the AUG. Gonna bounce things out to a 4-on-4. About 1:05 on the clock. JT leading his team out from Squeaky. Lands a headshot onto B-Wills. But Hate there right outside of Hut. Finding JT just a couple seconds later. Beaky ultimately on the trade. But CX killing him and Inshaniak from behind Silo with that AWP. And Triumph, once again, only down by a single round. Second half of the second OT is upon us. Pressure higher than ever for both teams here. Neither of them want to let this map go. Every time it starts going in one direction, the other team just goes, no! But how many times can they keep going back and forth here? I guess we're about to find out. Triumph grouping up at lobby here. Keeping their eyes on Hut and Squeaky, not fully committing to the A side. Now they are, though. A lot of utility coming into A. Beaky falling back for just a moment. He's got Inshaniak joining him in Heaven now. Rizu keeping an eye on Heaven. Going for the plant now, though. Triumph with a pretty good setup in terms of position here, and Hate with that last second headshot through the smoke onto Lowrider, last bullet before the reload. GGPR trying to retake, but Hate and CX checking their angles at just the right time. George getting the final kill of the round onto JT, and we're all tied up again, this time at 20 rounds. 20 rounds apiece in the second OT. Can Triumph repeat that offensive success this round? Or does GGPR have the longevity to keep this one going? Rizu runs through the Molotov like a madman in Hut. Gets the pick onto Beaky near Silo. Exceed ultimately there for the trade. B-Will's taking quite a bit of damage. His teammates taking some damage as well. But ultimately Triumph rotating to ramp room. Hate able to get that headshot onto JT at ramp. And Shaniak peeking out double scope from Caution Door. Lands the op kill onto Hate. Rotating over towards the opposite double doors now. CX with an insane no-scope, actually, onto Inshaniak in that hallway. That's going to leave only Lowrider remaining. 1v2 situation. Not a lot of time to work with here. That timer's ticking down pretty quick. Lowrider going to have to run now. Brings it to a 1v1 after headshotting B-Wills on Rafter there. But George able to get the late trade, and that'll be Triumph back in the lead by a single round. And Exceed looking to hold down this inner rush. Exceed draws first blood. B-Will's down. And Shaniak rotating over to Mini. Lands an impressive spam shot. Rizu gonna get tagged on 31 HP through the hut. Triumph now making their way towards ramp room. George already actually pushing all the way through towards Hell, but Shaniak gonna make him pay for getting that aggressive. And Shaniak downing George to the AWP there. One-man advantage here for GGPR. Triumph still trying to make their way down into the B side. JT meeting them with that AWP at lower, finds two. An impressive second kill after missing his second shot, but ultimately Beaky right there to get the final kill onto CX. And we will be going to a third overtime in just a moment here. Don't go anywhere.
Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out.
We are officially back. This is just the matchup that just keeps on giving. I would almost go as far as saying this might be the best single map of the ESEA Premier season so far, in NA at least. Beaky draws first blood outside, finds Hate on T-side silo there. That's a big pick for GGPR so early in the round. Let's see how Triumph responds here. And Shaniak narrowly missing George, and Squeaky looks like he's gonna get another chance at him, but George just barely able to sneak away through those nades. And Shaniak ultimately making him pay though, sneaking into Squeaky just a moment later, but B-Will's on the double trade finds Lowrider and Shaniak and Hut and Squeaky there. Exceed making the peek a couple seconds later into lobby. Will get some redemption onto B-Wills. Beaky doing his part again at outside, this time looking down off garage container for the pick. It's gonna leave only CX remaining. Makes his way down through vent. Smoke grenade was out there right in front of first vent. JT has the information, hears the footsteps, makes the peek from behind silo. CX will fall, and GGPR once again in the lead by a single round, but is Triumph just gonna clap right back, or can GGPR build off this? JT, big 2K there, holding down ramp, does get traded by Rizu, but Shaniak on the rotation trades Rizu. That's going to leave only CX and George remaining here on the T side. CX tagged all the way down to 16 HP. And GGPR's got to find a way to finish this round off. They can't let this one slip to some kind of wild clutch. George accidentally nading CX there after the ricochet. Almost took me a second to catch that. I thought he had taken out a GGPR player, but not the situation. A bit unfortunate for George there, but I think regardless, that was going to be too tall of a task for El Jorge to clutch up on, and that'll be a 2-round lead now going the way of GGPR. Triumph calling for a timeout. This would be a massive round for GGPR if they can get this. They can really put Triumph back in a high pressure scenario. I will point out that El Jorge's got 41 kills and 12 assists at the moment. Shaniak leading the GGPR side with 33 kills, but 3 members of GGPR sitting at 32 kills each right now. Pretty solid. Looks like actually a second timeout was taken here by Triumph, so they're using 2 of their TOs back to back here. Looks like live play will be resuming now, though. Triumph getting aggressive here, making their way towards Secret Stairs. Some nice smokes planted there at Outer. Can Triumph capitalize off this good start to the round? They do so far. CX taking out Beaky as he rotates out by Vents. Rizu did get tagged down to 9 HP, but that's not going to slow him down yet. Able to get the kill on JT as well, and Shaniak is able to get the trade there onto Rizu. George moving through ramp, finding the flank angle onto and Shaniak. And then Lowrider flanking him from lobby. Lowrider did make the push there, but if you could have only got there a second sooner, that would have been big for GGPR. Hey, getting a nice headshot there at Yellow DD. B-Will's getting the final kill of the round. And Triumph back to within 1 round here in Triple OT. We are officially live here, second half of the 3rd overtime of map 1. The map that just keeps on giving, boys. Who knows? We could be headed for a 4th overtime. We're just gonna have to wait and see here. And Shaniak, nice pick. George down at ramp. GGPR looking to capitalize off that. They're gonna smoke their way into ramp, but that's not gonna stop CX yet. Lands the pick with the 8OP on the Lowrider as he makes his way past Big Box in ramp. Ultimately, CX going to be forced to fall back, but Rizu holding that bottom sneaky angle of ramp. Lands the headshot onto Beaky, and Shaniak there for the trade with the AWP. Brings it to a 3-on-3, less than a minute remaining on the clock. JT watching the flank angle from lobby here. Looking to regroup with his teammates. GGPR potentially going to make their way towards BXC. Was trying to flank Big Garage, but CX going to make him pay as he finds him out in the open there. And Shaniak will get the plant down at B. JT and Shaniak verse 3. CX tagged down to 24. JT gonna have to watch this flank angle at ramp. Oh, and JT looking away while quick switching, almost gets his gun back out in time. All up to, and Shaniak now, 1v2 situation there. Behind the right-hand boxes, and CX gonna be able to finish him off there. And Triumph tying things up at 23 apiece. Both of these teams showing some serious energy and longevity here. I gotta imagine, you know, in this high of a pressure scenario with this many overtimes, it's gotta be wearing on the players at this point. GGPR letting some serious time off the clock here. First blood coming in from Beaky. Lands a headshot onto Hated. Squeaky. Rizu flying through Mini despite that smoke being there. And CX with the collateral at hut entrance. Beaky and Exceed down. And Shawniak on the trade. JT doing his part with the AK-47. Brings it to a 1v1. And Shawniak versus George. And Shawniak with only 14 HP. 19 seconds on the clock. Molotov being tossed towards Raptors. And then Shawniak pulls out the incredible off reaction shot with only 14 HP remaining. What is happening here? Triple OT, GGPR up by a single round once again. George getting aggressive here at ramp. Does land some damage, but falls back. He did a lot of damage there, though. Multiple GGPR players around half HP, but Exceed with the flank angle. Already down lower from Secret, I believe. Might have been from Vents, actually. B-Wills, though, peeking out from Caution Door. Trifecta fatalities with the M4 there. That could be the game changer. And Shawniak able to finish off B-Wills with a combination of that Deagle, and Molotov turns around just in time, switches to his sniper, takes out CX there, coming down from ramp, brings it to a 2-on-2 situation, and Shawniak gonna fake the plant, gets taken out by Rizu though, peeking from control room, all up to Beaky, wow, but Rizu coming out on top of that 1v1, and we are all tied up again at 24 apiece. And if I'm not mistaken, we will be headed to a 4th OT. This is just getting insane now. So yeah, I guess if you guys need to grab a water or a refreshment before the 4th OT starts here, this is the map that just keeps on giving, as mentioned. So we might be here all night, boys. Prepare yourselves. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. And we are officially live for the 4th OT. I'm pretty sure this is the first 3rd OT and first 4th OT match of the season. There may have been 1 or 2 other double OTs, but this is some good Premier NA action here. And Shawniak opening things up outside. Him and Exceed with some quick picks. B-Wills and company there on the trades, bringing it to a 3v3. George and B-Will still holding down outer here. Lowrider still at red container. George peeking at just the right time to take care of him. And Shawniak still with that AWP outside. Peeks near Mini, gonna take care of Hate there. But George again right there with the perfect timing on the trade. Beaky Wow left in a 1v2 situation coming from the flank angle at Secret Stairs. Oh man, tags B-Wills down from the flank to 31, but George gonna take care of him from Garage. Unfortunate that Beaky wasn't quite able to take care of that first enemy there and had to worry about George and Garage as well as his container angle. That was rough. And it looks like GGPR will be calling for a timeout here. GGPR certainly discussing how to catch Triumph off guard just a bit here. They don't want to let Triumph run away with this one after they've done so much, especially during that regulation comeback. B-Wills holding down the A site. Hate as well doing his part from on top of silo default there. A pair of trades coming in from GGPR. And Lowrider with a big pick there coming in at Hut, bringing the one-man advantage to GGPR. Bomb has been planted. CX forced all the way back towards lobby entrance with only 3 HP now. And CX with the nicely placed Molotov, and that's going to take out Beaky and Squeaky Door. Lowrider holding his angle patiently there in lobby, and it's going to pay off. Exceed showing his patience as well, able to finish off Rizu with time expiring, and we are all tied up at 25. GGPR getting aggressive here. JT, nice early pick onto Rizu. Trying to set the tone for the T side early in the round. GGPR letting some additional time get shaved off the clock here. B-Wills evening things out to a 4-on-4. Takes out Beaky and Squeaky. 52 seconds remaining. GGPR gonna have to get another pick here soon. But the next kill coming in from the CT side. That's Hate from the top of Hut landing the M4 headshot. B-Wills with an M4 headshot as well, peeking into Squeaky. Two-man advantage here for Triumph. Only 30 seconds on the clock. Lowrider trying to get those odds evened out. He will get one. Exceed grabs two there in Squeaky. Double headshot. But Exceed's only got 6 HP going into this 1v1, and George knows he's coming there towards ramp, able to finish him off, and we'll go into the second half of the fourth overtime with Triumph leading 26-25. Don't go anywhere.
Counter-terrorists win.
We are officially live here. Triumph up by 1, doing what they can to go for the W here. They were leading substantially in the first half. GGPR made the comeback to push it to OT, and it's just been mayhem since then. Quick trade going out at the beginning of the round. ESEA drawing first blood. Beaky finding Rizu near Squeaky